Okay. I am going to talk today about the SPED acronyms, some of the things that you hear when your child is in special education, and you may wonder, what do these mean? Like SPED, IDEA, IEP, FAPE, LRE, PLAAFP, and ESY. So I'm going to share my screen here a minute, and we're going to have you see some of these acronyms and go through them one by one. Okay. First of all, what is SPED? SPED is short for special education. Special education is instruction that is specially designed to meet the unique needs of a student with a disability. Okay. So it's education that is adapted to your child, providing those services and supports that will help them be successful in school. Okay. IDEA is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. This is a special education law. It requires public schools to provide a free and appropriate public education, also called FAPE, and we'll talk about that in a minute, to eligible students ages 3 to 21 who have disabilities. IDEA also provides legal protections for those students and for parents. These are called your rights and responsibilities. Okay, FAPE. You'll hear them talk about FAPE. FAPE stands for a free and appropriate public education. Okay, so the education that your child receives in special education is free, and also it must be appropriate to meet the unique needs that your student may have, whether they have autism or a physical disability or speech impairment, or maybe they're blind or deaf. Okay, the education must be appropriate to their disability to help them be successful. Also, it's key to understand that we're talking about public education. The law is for public schools. Okay, if you opt to choose a private school, you do not automatically have a free and appropriate public education under special education. It would be up to the private school to provide those special education services to you. IEP stands for the Individualized Education Program. This is a legal document. It also clearly defines how the school will plan to meet the child's or the student's unique educational needs that result from a covered disability. So the IEP is a plan that you sit down with the teachers and the school and you and the student, and you discuss how the child is going to be educated so that they can be most successful in school. This would include like any supports or services they may need, and the least restricted environment, which we will get to in a minute as well. The next acronym we're going to talk about is the PLAAFP. You'll hear people talk about the PLAAFP a lot, and this stands for the prior level of academic achievement and functional performance. So basically what we're doing in this is a statement in the IEP where we're describing the student, what they can currently do academically and functionally. It's a great description that helps the teachers and those working with the student to understand the strengths that the children have, the weaknesses that they have, things they need to work on, any things that might trigger behavior with them, such as bright lights or loud noise or a lot of people, and things that help to calm them. So this is a very important statement that you as a parent or a caregiver are very responsible for being able to help provide information for this statement so that those working with the child can have a really good understanding of what their abilities are, strengths and weaknesses. LRE stands for the least restrictive environment. This is the requirement that students with disabilities should receive their education to the maximum extent possible with their non-disabled peers. So in other words, your child should be educated in the classroom with the other students that don't have disabilities. Now, if there are times, of course, where your child may get overwhelmed or unable to focus, they may need to have a sensory break, for example, and be taken back to the resource room and then maybe come back to the classroom later. So the LRE in your individualized education plan will describe how often they should be in the regular classroom with the goal of eventually becoming there full time. The last acronym we're talking about today is ESY. ESY stands for Extended School Year, and this is educational services that are provided when the school is typically not in session. This can be most typically summertime, but it can also be during other vacation times, such as Christmas vacation or spring break that might. And the reason you would have the child in ESY is because if they were not, they may fall behind a great deal or lose a lot of what they have learned in the school year. So if they can show that the child would lose a lot of what they've gained that year by missing a couple of months, then they would qualify for the extended school year. Okay, there you have it. 8 acronyms that you might hear in special education, and I hope this was helpful to you. Thank you very much.